Museum, and I welcome you to the new museum and to our first dance performance in the Contemporary American Indian Art Gallery. I'd like to introduce Amy Ragsdale and the Headwaters Dance Company, Missoula's premier modern dance company. Please help me welcome them. Everyone at the same time. You have a program, I hope, which has quite detailed notes about the piece that we're about to show you. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Headwaters, in case you don't know who we are. We are kind of the reincarnation of Motrans, which was a modern dance repertory company in residence at the University of Montana. And we are essentially doing the same things, although we're now independent of the University of Montana. So that's why we changed our name to Headwaters. We commission works and perform works by choreographers from all over the country, and we tour them around Montana primarily and the region. So we're especially happy to be showing you this second part of a multi-year project called the Montana Suite Project. And this particular part is focusing on the High Line. Each piece, which will happen over 4 years, is focusing on a different part of the state. So John Jaspers from New York, who actually at the time was performing in Dusseldorf with his company, flew to Missoula. 3 hours later he was in a car, driving to Browning, and then he spent 8 days driving from Browning to Wolf Point and back, meeting all kinds of people along the way. And we had a lot of people here in Missoula help us find people on the High Line who would be interesting for him to meet, people who were 4th generation Highliners. From all different sorts of professions. So that was a great trip for him. Then he came back and he started trying to translate his impressions into movement. And this is truly a work in progress. It was finished about 5 days ago and will continue to be worked on. He's collaborating with Phil Aubert from Chester, a composer probably many of you know. And so this is version 4 of the music, and I'm sure we'll keep evolving. There's also actually a set which John designed, which is made up of 6 lanes of taut ropes, which go from stage right to stage left. And he designed these undulating bridges on which the ropes are suspended. And this was his effort to try to get at the feeling of flatness and expanse in the High Line. But also, he was saying that as you really look at it, you realize it's full of subtle contours. So as you look at the ropes, you'll realize they're going a little bit up and down. So if you want to see the full production with the set, please do come and see us when we perform it at MCT again, and it'll be in its full production. But we're very honored to be invited to be here and be part of the opening of the museum, of this beautiful space. So here we go.
And I'm the director of the museum, and I want to welcome you to the first performance in the Arrestee Gallery. We call this the Steps Gallery because it has the built-in seating for audience. So welcome, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Greg Johnson to you, the director of the Montana Repertory Theater. The performance tonight is his local company they call Montana Rep Missoula. So we're very honored to have them as part of our grand opening celebration. Help me welcome Greg.
Thank you. I want to thank. I'm honored to be, as Amy said, I'm honored to be here as part of the celebration of this glorious space, this wonderful event that happened to this town, and I'm very moved by what happened here, what is going to happen here, what continues to happen here, what it feels like to be here right now with you all in what is, I think, a hallmark moment for the town of Missoula. When Laura and I decided to do something, we said what would be appropriate, and Wendy Wasserstein, who's one of the great American playwrights, died last year, very young, in her mid-50s, unexpectedly, way too early. She was, if you are a boomer like me, she tells our story. She tells the story from a distinctly feminine point of view, and in a way to honor her, in a way to honor Wendy, who I actually knew way back in the day. I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to honor her and to honor this wonderful space at the same time. We've chosen Heidi Chronicles because Heidi, which is her second big hit after Uncommon Women, among others, was her first big Tony Award. This is the one that catapulted her into the national consciousness as a writer. And she wrote for 2 more decades about the American experience from a distinctly female point of view, and made her very unique and special in the Letters of America. And she will endure, because to see Wendy's plays is to understand what America was like in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And this is the perfect example, because Heidi is an art historian, and she talks, and there'll be snippets from the play. So not only do you see some of her her lectures about women in the arts, you also see what it was like to be a woman with a great intelligence, a great ambition, and a great character, and how you survive as a woman in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in this world, in America that we all live in. Nobody wrote better about that than Wendy Wasserstein, so that's really a privilege for us to be giving you snippets. And the rep actually was privileged to produce Heidi Chronicles. What year was that?
94.
94. And I had the privilege of directing it way back Finn. So it's a play that's very dear to my heart. It's a woman who was very dear to my heart. And this is a place that's very dear to my heart. So it all comes together for us to share this evening. I want to thank Lisa Marie Heislick for putting it together, the brains of the outfit over there, and the actors, Tony Cesare, Lindy Kuhn, and Frank Mentier, for giving us their time and their talent and their passion to bring this to you tonight. So without any further ado, I give you Montana Red Missoula, the Heidi Chronicles.
Excerpts from the Heidi Chronicles by Wendy Wasserstein. Players, Heidi Holland, Lindy Kuhn. Scoop Rosenbaum, Craig Mantier. Narration, Tony Cesare. Act 1, Prologue. 1989, Lecture Hall, Columbia University. Behind the podium, right of screen. During the lecture, slides of paintings appear on the screen.
Sophonisba Anguissola painted this portrait of her sister Minerva in 1559. Not only was Sophonisba a painter with an international reputation, but so were her 6 sisters. Here's half the family in Sophonisba's 3 Sisters Playing Chess, painted in 1555. Hello, girls. Although Sophonisba was praised in the 17th century as being a portraitist equal to Titian, and at least 30 of her paintings remain known to us, there is no trace of her or any other woman artist prior to the 20th century in your current art history survey textbook. Of course, in my day, this same standard text mentioned no women from the dawn of history to the present. Are you with me? Okay. Clara Peters, roughly 1594 to 1657, whose undated self-portrait we see here, was, I believe, the greatest woman artist of the 17th century. And now I'd like you to name 10 others. Peters' works predate the great period of northern still life painting. In her breakfast paintings, Clara's term, not mine, she used more geometry and less detail than her male peers. Notice here the cylindrical silver canister, the disc of the plate, and the triangular cuts in the cheese. Trust me, this is cheese. After breakfast, in fact, Clara went through a prolonged cheese period. A leap, but go with me. We Both Must Fade, painted in 1869 by the American genre painter Lily Martin Spencer, combines in a vanitas painting the formal portraiture of Sophonisba and the still life composition of Peters. We have a young woman posing in an exquisitely detailed dress surrounded by symbolic still life objects. The fading flower and the timepiece are both reminders of mortality and time passing, while the precious jewelry spilling out is an allusion to the transience of earthly possessions. This portrait can be perceived as a meditation on the brevity of youth, beauty, and life. But what can't? Okay, to the vital issue at hand, how to remember these paintings for next week's midterm. Sophonisba Anguissola, formal portraiture in the style of Titian with a taste for red jewelry. Clara Peters, Flemish still life master of geometry and cheese. And as for Mrs. Lily Martin Spencer and We Both Must Fade. Frankly, this painting has always reminded me of one of those horrible high school dances. And you sort of want to dance, and you sort of want to go home, and you sort of don't know what you want. So you hang around, a fading rose in an exquisitely detailed dress, waiting to see what might happen.
End of prologue. Scene 2, 1968, a dance. There are Eugene McCarthy for President signs. A Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company song like Take a Piece of My Heart is playing. A hippie in a Sgt. Pepper jacket smokes a joint, and when Heidi enters, he offers a drag. Heidi, wearing a floral shawl, refuses and stands by the food table. Scoop Rosenbaum, slightly intense but charismatic in jeans and a work shirt, comes over to her. He takes a beer from the bucket on stage.
Are you guarding the chips?
No!
Then you're being very difficult.
Please help yourself.
Look, where are you going?
I'm trying to listen to the music.
Janis Joplin and Big Brother in the Holding Company. A+ singer, C- band. Far less innovative than the Kinks. You know, you have one hell of an inferiority complex.
I do?
Sure, I have no right to say you're difficult. Don't you believe in human dignity? I mean, you're obviously a liberal or you wouldn't be here.
I came with a friend.
You came to Manchester, New Hampshire in a blizzard to ring doorbells for Gene McCarthy with a friend? Why the fuck didn't you go skiing?
I don't ski.
Scoop offers Heidi a potato chip.
B- texture, C+ crunch. You go to one of those 7 sister schools?
How did you know?
You're all concerned citizens.
I told you I came with a friend.
That's bullshit. Be real. You're neat and clean for Eugene. You think if you go door to door and ring bells, this sucker will become president, we'll all be good people, and wars in places you've never heard of before will end, and everyone will have enough to eat and send their daughters to Vassar. Like I said, neat and clean for Eugene.
Would you excuse me?
It's been lovely chatting with you.
A pleasure.
Hey, what's your name?
Susan.
Susan what?
Susan Johnston. See ya.
Hey, Susan Johnston. Don't you want to get to know me? Don't you want to know who I am? Come on, come on. A nice girl like you isn't going to look a man in the eye and tell him, I have absolutely no interest in you. You've been incredibly obnoxious, and your looks are B-.
Why do you grade everything?
I used to be a very good student.
Used to?
Yeah, I dropped out of Princeton, the Woodrow Wilson School of International Bullshit.
That's admirable. So what do you do now?
This and that, here and there.
You work for McCarthy? Well, you are at a McCarthy dance.
I came with a friend, Susan. Hey, Susan, you don't know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. McCarthy is irrelevant. He's a C+ Adlai Stevenson. The changes in this country could be enormous, beyond anything your sister mind could imagine.
Are you a real-life radical?
Do you mean, do I make bombs in my parents' basement in West Hartford? Susan, how could I be a radical? I played lacrosse at Exeter, and I'm a Jew whose first name is Scoop. You know, you're not very good at nuance, and you're too eager to categorize. I'm a journalist.
Well,
I'm just here to look around.
Do you work for a paper?
Did they teach you at Vassar to ask so many inane questions in order to keep the conversation going?
Well, like I said, I have to meet my friend.
Me too. I have to meet Paul Newman.
Oh, well, tell him Susan says hi.
You don't believe I have to meet Paul
Oh,
Newman?
I'm sure you do.
I'm picking him up at the airport, and I'm taking him and Mr. McCarthy to a press conference. Paul's a great guy. Come, why don't you come out and come drinking with us? We could rap over a few beers.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Why not?
I just can't.
Let me get this straight. You would rather drive back to Poughkeepsie with 5 virgins in a Volkswagen, discussing Norman Mailer and birth control on dangerous frozen roads, than go drinking with Eugene McCarthy, Paul Newman, and Scoop Rosenbaum. You're cute, Susan, very cute.
And you are very irritating.
That's the first honest thing you've said tonight. Lady, you better learn to stand up for yourself. I'll let you in on a little scoop from Scoop.
Did they teach you construction like that at Princeton?
I dig you, Susan. I dig you a lot.
Can we say like instead of dig? I mean, while I'm
I
standing up for
like
myself.
you, Susan. You're prissy, but I like you a lot.
Well, I don't know if I like you.
Well, why should you like me? I'm arrogant and difficult, but I'm very smart. And for that, you'll put up with me. What? What?
What?
You're thinking something.
I was wondering what mothers teach their sons that they never bother to tell their daughters.
What do you mean?
I mean, why the fuck are you so confident?
Oh, 10 points for Susan.
Have we moved on to points from letter grades?
There's hope for you. You're going to be quite the little Politico.
I'm planning to be an art historian.
God, don't say that. It sounds so suburban.
I'm interested in the individual expression of the human soul. Content over form.
But I thought the whole point of contemporary art is that form becomes the content. I mean, look at Albers, Homage to a Square. 3 superimposed squares, and we're talking perception, integration, and isolation. Just 3 squares, and they reflect the gross inadequacies of our society. Therefore, your argument is Inconclusive.
Well, don't give me a Marxist interpretation of Albers.
Oh, you really are a fucking liberal, aren't you? I suppose next you'll tell me how much Herbert Marcuse means to you. What?
Nothing.
I don't believe it. You've never read Marcuse.
Isn't Paul Newman waiting for you?
Isn't your friend waiting for you, Heidi? Aha! Basket Rosenbaum, 30 points. The score is 30-10.
How did you know my name?
I told you, I'm a journalist. You really think anything gets by the Liberated Earth News?
That's your paper!
Editor-in-chief, circulation 362 and growing. Okay, truth. I know your name is Heidi because it says so right there on your name tag, Heidi. Oh!
Oh well.
You don't have to look at the floor.
I'm not.
I've got nothing on you so far. Why are you so afraid to speak up?
I'm not afraid to speak up.
Heidi, you don't understand. You're the one, this whole thing, it's going to affect the most. You're the one whose life this is all going to change significantly. It has to. You're a very serious person. In fact, you're the unfortunate contradiction in terms. You're a serious, good person. I envy you that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I guess.
Yep. You'll be one of those true believers who didn't understand it was just a phase. The Trotskyite during Lenin's new economic policy. The worshiper of fallen images in Christian Judea.
And you?
Me? I told you. I'm just here to look around.
What if you get left behind?
You mean if after all the politics you girls decide to go hog wild, demanding equal pay, equal rights, equal orgasms?
Well, all people deserve to fulfill their potential.
Absolutely.
I mean, why should some well-educated woman waste her life making you and your children tuna fish sandwiches?
She shouldn't. And neither should a badly educated woman. Heidella, I'm on your side.
Don't call me Heidella. It's diminutive.
You mean demeaning, and it's not. It's endearing.
You're deliberately eluding my train of thought.
No, I'm subtly asking you to go to bed with me. Before I go meet Paul Newman.
Oh,
Well, you have every right to say no. I can't guarantee an absolute equality of experience.
I can take care of myself, thanks.
Oh, you've got the lingo down now, kiddo. Pretty soon you'll be burning bras.
Maybe I'll go hog wild.
I hope so. Are you a virgin?
Excuse me?
If you choose to accept this mission, I'll find out one way or another.
That's okay.
Why do you cover your mouth when you talk about sex?
Hygiene.
I told you you're a serious, good person, and I'm honored. Maybe you'll think of this fondly someday in a Proustian haze when you're 35 and picking up your daughter from the ethical cultural school to escort her to her cello class before dinner with Dad, the noted psychiatrist and Miro poster player.
Oh no, I'll be torching lingerie.
Maybe I'll think of it one day when I'm 35 and watching my son's performance as Johnny Appleseed at NCT. Maybe I'll look at my wife who puts up with me and I'll flash on when I was an editor of a crackpot liberal newspaper and I thought I could fall in love with Heidi Holland that first snowy night in Manchester, New Hampshire, 1968.
Are you guarding the chips?
No, I trust them.
He kisses her passionately as a song like White Rabbit begins playing. Scoop then looks at his watch and gathers his coat. He begins to leave the room and turns back to Heidi. She looks at her watch and follows him. End scene. Scene 5, 1977, an anteroom to the ballroom of the Pierre Hotel. The room is empty except for a few chairs and a table with flowers and a tray of champagne. It is the reception following the elaborate wedding of Scoop Rosenbaum and Lisa Freelander. The bride has exited to the ballroom proper and is dancing in the center of the crowd.
Did she just say, shake your booties, doctor?
Oh, God, I am so miserable.
She must be very talented.
Why did you let me do this?
Me? What do you mean, why did I let you? I had nothing to do with this.
Yes, you did. Are you marrying this doctor?
Maybe.
Seems like a nice enough guy.
He's a wonderful guy. He's also gay. Anyway, I'm seeing someone, sort of living with someone.
So there is he. I want to have a look.
I didn't want you to meet him. I didn't want you to have a look.
Is he quality goods?
He's an editor.
An editor.
I met him through work. I'm writing a book of essays.
Academic?
Sort of.
History? Art history?
Sort of.
Sounds like there's a miniseries potential there.
It's called And the Light Floods In from the Left and Other Overcommitments. Essays on art and women.
Sort of Marcusian.
Heidi, increasingly nervous, begins shredding a cocktail napkin.
Well, actually, it's sort of humorous. Well, sort of social observation. I mean, it's sort of a point of view.
Heidela, don't shred your napkin.
I'm sorry.
Aunt Florence will never recover from who's been at the Pierre today.
Heidi bends down and starts picking up the shredded napkin.
I didn't ask you to clean the room. I just told you not to shred. Maybe you should spend some more time on that collective in Montana. Liberate yourself. So who's this editor?
I don't have to answer these questions.
Heidi, I'm a lawyer and I'm just about to be a journalist again, so yes, actually, it'll be easier if you just answer these questions.
What do you mean you're about to be a journalist again?
I'm starting a magazine.
What magazine?
I answered your question, now you have to answer mine. Who's this editor?
Christ!
I'm just trying to have a friendly conversation. I'm concerned about you. I care about you. Where did you go to school?
Trinity.
Trinity. Trinity. Trinity what? Trinity Cambridge? Trinity Hartford? Trinity the lower school?
Trinity Hartford.
You're sort of living with an editor who went to Trinity College, Hartford?
You've certainly come a long way from the Liberated Earth News.
Did I say anything? I didn't say anything. Where does he edit?
Hustler.
He should be half as creative as an editor as Hustler, and an eighth as well
You
endowed.
don't even know him.
Yes, I do. Where does he edit? No?
Do you interrogate Lisa like this?
No. I sort of know who Lisa lives with. Simon & Schuster?
No.
Harper and Row?
I don't know.
Harper and Row. It's Harper and Row. It's Harper and Row. Way to go, Rosenbaum!
I hate this. I really hate this.
No, you don't, or you wouldn't have come.
Peter wanted to meet you. That's why we came. He said if I witnessed your ritual, it would put an end to an era. And Susan, for some insane reason, Susan wanted to come too.
Maybe she's got a thing for Burt Lance.
No, Molly wanted to see New York. This is all irrelevant. I'm thinking of writing my book in England. I applied for a Fulbright.
Idla, just because you lost this particular round doesn't mean you have to drop completely out of the match.
You still use lousy construction.
Yes, I do, and that's what makes me so much more interesting than that editor.
Fuck you.
You still use foul language.
You don't.
My wife doesn't care for it.
Well, clearly she's quality goods.
You really don't understand, do you?
I think I do.
No, you don't. But I can explain. Let's say we married and asked you to devote the, say, next 10 years of your life to me, making me a home and a family and a life to secure that I could come home with some confidence every day and then go out into the world each day and attempt to get an A. You'd say, no. You'd say, why can't we be partners? Why can't we both go out into the world and get an A? And you'd be absolutely valid and correct.
But Lisa,
Do I love her? As your nice friend asked me, she's the best that I can do. Is she an A plus like you? No. But I don't want to come home to an A plus. A minus maybe, but not A plus.
scoop her out of school. We're in life. You don't need to grade everything.
I'm sorry, Heidelberg, but I can't dangle you anymore. That's why I got married today.
So now it's all my fault.
Sure it is. You want other things in life than I do.
Really? Like what?
Self-fulfillment, self-determination, self-exaggeration.
That's exactly what you want.
Right, right. Then you'd be competing with me.
Scoop.
What?
Forget it.
You know what, baby? It's either or.
That is simply not true.
You don't like the grades? Fuck the grades. Let's try numbers.
I thought you don't use foul language.
I don't unless it's helpful. On a scale from 1 to 10, if you aim at 6 and you get 6, everything will work out. But if you aim at 10 in all things and you get 6, you're going to be very disappointed. And unfortunately, that's why you quality time girls are going to be one generation of disappointed women. Interested, exemplary, even sexy, but basically unhappy. The ones who open doors always are.
But you're willing to settle for a secure 6?
I've got more important things to worry about.
Your magazine?
Just things. It's all home cooking in the crock pot you bought us. By the way, I thought that was a very unimaginative gift.
I'll send a Mr. Coffee. Bye, Scoop. Congratulations.
I'm sorry I disappointed you.
I don't give grades.
I told you in New Hampshire you'd be the one this would all make such a difference to.
I've yet to torch lingerie.
We're talking life choices.
I haven't made them yet.
Yes, you have, or we'd be getting married today.
Scoop, we'd never break a glass at the Pierre.
I didn't marry Lisa because she's Jewish.
No, you married her because she's blandish.
I never meant to hurt you.
I gotta go, or Peter will abandon me for a waiter. He's into waiters.
Really? But he's such a well-educated man. He went to Williams.
Williams men like to come home to a well-set table, too.
Vicious dumpling. I'll be right there, Lisa. Are you guarding the chips?
They simultaneously move toward each other and kiss. They are suddenly slow dancing. Scoop laughs.
The editor of Hustler.
They continue to dance as the music plays.
Sam Cooke,
A+ content.
A+ born.
I love you, Heidi. I always will. Darling, you send me. Honest you do. Honest you do.
Lights fade as they slow dance. End of Act 1. Act 2 Prologue. 1989, Lecture Hall, Columbia University.
Lilla Cabot Perry, 1848-1933, was along with the better-known Mary Cassatt and Bert Morisot, a major influence in American Impressionism. Her painting, Lady with a Bowl of Violets. Lilla went through a little-known hostility period. Actually, the painting you're looking at is Judith Beheading Holofernes by Artemisia Gentileschi. Please bear with me, my TA is taking the law boards today. Thank you. Lady with a Bowl of Violets. Notice how the tones move from cool blues and violets to warmer oranges, lighting up the collar of her rather flimsy negligee. Change flimsy to flouncy. But Lilla pops out when she gets to the head. Suddenly, we're back to traditional portraiture with the lines completely delineated. The painting I prefer is Lady in Evening Dress, painted in 1911. Closer to her mentor Monet, Lilla here is willing to lose her edges in favor of paint and light. Go Lilla. Now let's compare for a moment Cabot's Lady with Lily Martin Spencer's Fading Rose. There is something uniquely female about these paintings. And I'm not referring to their lovely qualities, delicate techniques, or overall charm. Oh, please. What strikes me is both ladies seem slightly removed from the occasions at hand. They appear to watch closely and ease the way for others to join in. I suppose it's really not unlike being an art historian. In other words, being neither the painter nor the casual observer, but a highly informed spectator.
End of prologue. Scene 6, 1989. Oh, sorry. Scene 4, 1986. The Plaza Hotel. Over the loudspeaker, we hear the voiceover of Sandra Zucker Hall. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Zucker Hall, president of Miss Crane's School East Coast Alumni Association. The topic for today's luncheon is Women, Where Are We Going? And we are very pleased to have as our speaker our distinguished alumna, Dr. Heidi Holland.
Hello. Hello. I graduated from Miss Crane's in 1965, and I look back on my education in Chicago very fondly. One of the far-reaching habits I developed at Miss Crane's was waiting until the desperation point to complete or rather, start my homework. Keeping that noble academic tradition alive, I appear before you today with no formal speech. I have no outline, no pink note cards, no hieroglyphics scribbled on my palm. Nothing. Well, you might be thinking this is a women's meeting, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt. After teaching at Columbia yesterday, Miss Holland probably attended a low-impact aerobics class with weights, picked up her children from school, brought the older one to drawing with computers at the Metropolitan, and the younger one to swimming for gifted children. On returning home, she immediately prepared grilled mesquite free-range chicken with balsamic vinegar and sun-dried tomatoes, advised her investment banker, well-rounded husband on the future finances for the city ballet, put the children to bed, recited their favorite Greek myths and sex education, dashed into the library to call the 22-year-old squash player who is passionately in love with her to say that they can only be friends, finished writing 10 pages of a new book, brought the remains of the mesquite free-range dinner to a church that feeds the homeless, massaged her husband's feet, and relieved any fears that he might be getting old by doing it in the kitchen, read 40 pages of the Inferno in Italian, took a deep breath, and put out the light. So after all this, we forgive Miss Holland for not preparing a speech today. She's exemplary and exhausted. Well, thank you, but you forgive too easily. And I respect my fellow alumna enough to know that I should attempt to tell you the truth. Oh, yeah, Heidi. Okay, why don't I have a speech for the Women Where Are We Going luncheon? Well, actually yesterday I did teach at Columbia. We discussed Alexander Pope and his theory of the picturesque. And afterwards, I did attend an exercise class. I walked into the locker room to my favorite corner where I can pull on my basic black leotard in peace. Two ladies, younger than me, in pressed blue jeans, were heatedly debating the reading program at the Marymount Nursery School, and a woman my mother's age was going on and on about her son at Harvard Law School and his wife, a Brazilian hairdresser who was by no stretch of the imagination good enough for him. They were joined by Mrs. Green, who has perfect red nails, and confessed to anyone who would listen the hardship of throwing her dinner party on the same night as the benefit of the Met. And in the middle of them was a naked, gray-haired woman extolling the virtues of brown rice and women's fiction. And then 2 27-year-old hotshots came in. How do I know they were hotshots? They were both draped in purple and green leather. And as soon as they entered the locker room, they pulled out their alligator date books and began to madly call the office. They seemed to have everything under control. They even brought their own heavier weights. Now, Jeanette, the performance artist, dancer, actress, aerobics teacher, comes in and completes the locker room. I like Jeanette. I've never talked to her, but I like her. I feel her parents are psychiatrists in the Midwest, maybe Cedar Rapids. Jeanette takes off her blue jeans and rolls her tights up her legs. I notice the hotshots checking out Jeanette's muscle tone while they're lacing up their Zeus low-impact sneakers. And Mrs. Green stops talking about a dinner party to ask, where did they find them? Everywhere she has looked on Madison Avenue is out. And the lady with the son at Harvard joins in and says she saw Zeus sneakers at Lord & Taylor. And were they any good? Her daughter-in-law likes them, but she can't be trusted. The mothers with the pressed blue jeans leap to her rescue. Yes, they can assure her, despite the daughter-in-law, unequivocally, absolutely, no doubt about it, Zeus sneakers are the best. It was at this point that I decided I would slip out and take my place in the back row of class. I picked up my overstuffed bag, but as I was just between Mrs. Green's raccoon coat and a purple leather bomber jacket, I tripped on one of the hotshots' goddamn 5-pound professional weights, and out of my bag flew a week's worth of change, raspberry gum wrappers, and Alexander Pope on the picturesque, right on the gray-haired fiction woman's foot. I began giggling. Oh, that's okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't wear those leather pants. I'm sorry I don't eat brown rice. I'm sorry I don't want to stand naked and discuss Zeus sneakers. I'm sorry I don't want to find out I'm worthless and superior. I'm embarrassed, no, humiliated, in front of every woman in that room. I'm envying women I don't even know. I'm envying woman with the son at Harvard is miserable to her daughter-in-law. I'm sure the gray-haired fiction woman is having a bisexual relationship with a female dock worker and driving her husband crazy. I'm sure the hotshots have screwed a lot of 35-year-old women, my classmates even, out of jobs, raises, and husbands. And I'm sure the mothers in the pressed blue jeans think that women like me chose the wrong road. A pity they made such a mistake, that empty generation. Well, I really don't want to be feeling this way about all of them. And I certainly don't want to be feeling this way about women. Where are we going? I hear whispers. I hear chairs moving from side to side. Yes, I see. I have 1 minute left. The women start filing out of the locker room. Jeanette ties her hair in a ponytail and winks at me. See you in class, Heidi. Don't forget to take them at this time. And I look at her pink and kind face. I'm sorry, Jeanette. I think I'm too sad to go to class. Excuse me? She smiles and grabs a mat. And suddenly, I stop competing with all of them. Suddenly, I'm not even racing. To tell you the truth, Jeanette, I think I better not exercise today. Is there anything I can do? She puts her arm around me. Are you not well? No, Jeanette. I'm just not happy. I'm afraid I haven't been happy for a long time. I don't blame the ladies in the locker room for how I feel. I don't blame any of us. We're all concerned, intelligent, good women. It's just that I feel stranded. And I thought the whole point was that we wouldn't feel stranded. I thought the whole point was that we were in this together. Thank you.
End scene. Scene 6, 1989. An empty room with fireplace. The room has been freshly painted white. Warm afternoon sunlight streams through the window. A rocker rests in the corner. Heidi, seated, is reading through a book galley. Scoop enters.
Hello?
He's dressed for a business lunch in a suit and raincoat.
Hello?
Scoop!
Hello! I'm canvassing for Eugene McCarthy for president, Ms. Holland. You might be interested in my publication, A Liberated Earth News. We tell the truth, the way people see it. So what's up? Nice apartment. What do you call it? Raw space with a rocker?
I moved in last week. Furniture hasn't come yet.
You know what you could use here? Chintz. Chintz curtains would be very nice, but not shiny. Be specific.
What do you know about chintz?
That's sexist. Really sexist. I've decorated at least 4 houses, and I've edited a magazine for 10 years that was responsible for the chintz renaissance as we know it. In fact, do you know why warm Mediterranean colors have returned to the home palette?
Because Boomer magazine warned us against the disastrous side effects of too many pastels? Scoop, what are you doing here?
Maritime art.
You came to my raw space for maritime art?
I have an offer to buy maritime art. April Lambert's husband is into equestrian art, so horses are out for me. But I'm considering maritime art. I've always liked Turner.
Well, you can't go wrong with a Turner.
Or Winslow Homer. So, are you happy?
What?
I made a list the other day of the people I care about, and you made the top 10. In fact, I reworked the list a few times, and you were the only one who made the top 10 for 3 decades. Yep, you and Smokey Robinson. The standards. So I can keep you on. If I can keep you on my list, you can at least tell me if you're happy. Good cookies.
A+ pecan, B- sandy.
Better. B+ Sandy.
Actually, I am seeing an editor I seem to like.
Good. Time for my life now. See? I've grown over the years. We did you first. I think that shows remarkable control and sensitivity. Can you keep a secret?
If this involves someone in fishnets 25 or younger, not really.
I hate it when you're prissy. Does your editor know you're prissy?
Yes, he's even more prissy than I am. Scoop, why are you here?
Touch base. There aren't that many people in my life who really know me. I sold Boomer magazine 2 hours ago. You're the first to know.
What? Why?
I was at lunch at Lutece, and I made it with a potential buyer and a lawyer, and I made a deal with myself. I said if I could get the lemon souffle without ordering a day in advance, I'd sell. have you ever ordered the lemon souffle at Lutece?
No,
Well, do it.
I don't want to.
No, pick up a phone and do it. It's the best dessert I've ever had.
Scoop, stop it.
Hi, it's Scoop Rosenbaum. I'd like to order 2 souffles for tonight.
Scoop, I'm not going to Lutece for dinner tonight. And I'm certainly not dropping in for dessert. I'm busy.
Oh, we're undecided. Lemon or chocolate? I'll call you back. Thank you.
I have a date.
With who? That editorial drone? Where do you go to school? You're not missing a lemon souffle at the test for an intimate evening dangling participles. Hello, this is Mr. Rosenbaum. Who is this? Bonjour, Philippe. Comment allez-vous?
Scoop, where's Lisa?
She's in Florida with Maggie and her mother. Pierre's in town with me.
Maybe we should call Lisa.
No, we shouldn't call Lisa. Philippe, du citron soufflé.
All right, maybe we should call someone else.
You mean, is there a fishnet in town so you don't have to deal with me tonight?
Something like that? Yes.
No such luck. Philippe, Merci. Baby, I'm yours. And I'll be yours until 2 or 3 this morning.
Did you really sell your magazine?
Yep.
Why?
Because I wanted to buy maritime art. Do you know how much they paid me?
No.
I think this raw space could use a returner or 2. I'll buy you a couple for Christmas.
But why did you do it?
What's it all for, Heidela? What's it all for?
You liked it.
Yep,
You were good at it.
yep. And I stopped pastels in the nick of time. And I helped get a few people elected and a few people investigated. And a single man who likes oral sex while reading the Talmud placed an ad, married a woman who doesn't. I did all that. Now what?
What do you mean?
Now what? Now what? What do I show my children and say, see kids, Daddy did that? Do I say, see that restaurant, Maggie, darling? Daddy started going there, and everybody started going there until they started going somewhere else. Or do I say, Pierre, your father was known as an arbitrator of good taste in a decade defined as sexy and greedy? Or is my greatest legacy buying them a farm in Litchfield County before land value went soaring? I can hear my kids saying, you know, my dad was basically a lazy man and a philanderer, but he had a good nose for Connecticut real estate, and we love him because he didn't make his weekend in the Hamptons.
I didn't know you worried so much about your children.
I'm sorry. I mean, we hardly know each other. I'm sorry. I'm being very self-indulgent, yes?
Yes.
I'm a spoiled man with superficial values, yes?
Don't look at me like that.
Like what?
Don't look at me with those doe eyes and tell me how spoiled you are. Next thing I know, you'll tell me you never meant to hurt me.
Maybe we should try again.
Why?
Because I'm lonely and I'm lost. And you're lonely.
Oh, please.
You know, I thought you might enjoy that.
I did. A lot.
How much?
A lot.
So as my old friend and longtime observer, what do you think I should do?
I'd say hold on to the land in Litchfield County.
It's nice to see you, Heidel.
It's nice to see you. I have absolutely no idea why Lisa stays married to you.
You would have married me.
But I wouldn't have stayed married to you.
Good thing I married Lisa.
Yep, good thing.
I never liked your caustic side. You and Peter shared that. How is Peter?
Peter moved in with a nice anesthesiologist named Ray. He still runs that ward, and on weekends they garden at their home in Bucks County.
A nice doctor and a house in the country. Peter's living my mother's dream. I thought of you both last weekend when I was flying home from L.A.
You did?
Yeah, it was nighttime, and I recognized Chicago from the sky, and I remembered that first time I visited you there. Remember, I spent the day asking for Goethe Street until I called you and said, no, dummy, it's pronounced Goethe. Anyway, I wondered if flying over Chicago for my grandchildren would be like driving past an A&W root beer stand is for me. I think about the future all the time now.
Scoop, you didn't sell Boomer for a lemon souffle.
Heidela, on a scale from 1 to 10, if you aim for 6 and you get 6, that's the ball game. So you might as well try for your 10.
If you know what your 10 is.
Well, I have a notion. Oh yes, and one other thing. Susan told me you adopted a baby last week.
She did.
Yes, and I thought, fuck you. If you have the courage to make the move and go for your 10, then what am I waiting for?
Wait a minute. Why is my baby my 10 and your work is your 10?
I didn't mean it that way.
Well, it certainly came out that way. I'm not some empty vessel.
No, you're not. But I appreciate the maritime illusion.
And anyway, I wasn't alone against the wilderness. Peter helped me. Shall I get off my high horse now, or would you like to hear more?
You're cute.
You're deceptive. She's asleep in the other raw space.
This entire time? Well, why didn't you say something?
Why didn't you say something?
Well, what do you call her?
Vicious dumpling. Peter suggested Panama Hattie in honor of his favorite musical and her place of birth.
Well, it's certainly a notable college application.
I also considered Lilla, Mary, or Grandma, so she'd grow up to be a painter. And Crystal or Ronette, so she'd grow up to start a girl group. But that's a little...
Much. That's a little much.
So I settled on Judy after a date with Judy. She's very pretty. A little cellulite on the toes, but by the time she's 20, they'll be doing simple nips and toe tucks at Elizabeth Arden.
Are you happy?
I've never been what I'd call a happy girl. Too prissy, too caustic.
But now, right now, are you happy now?
Well, I have a daughter, and I've never been particularly maternal. I'm not real practiced at sharing. But Scoop, there's a chance, just a milli notion, that Pierre Rosenbaum and Judy Holland will meet on a plane over Chicago. And Pierre will tell her his father named him for a Canadian Prime Minister. And she'll say she was almost named for someone who sang My Boyfriend's Back. And he'll never tell her it's either or, baby. And she'll never think she's worthless unless he lets her have it all. And maybe, just maybe, things will be a little better. And yes, that does make me happy.
So I was right all along. You are a true believer.
I don't see how it could be any other way.
No regrets?
Just two.
Me?
No. Hello, New York, and I still never torch lingerie.
Jesus, The Wicked Cooks.
Whoop.
The Wicked Cooks. It's a Gunter Grass novel. Pierre's music teacher adopted it for the 4th grade play at the Ethical Cultural School.
Why don't they do The Music Man or Johnny Appleseed?
Oh, please.
He pulls out a package from his pocket.
This is for Judy. It's a silver spoon. My secretary picked it out. You can't go wrong.
Hey, Scoop, I think you did the right thing.
Buying the spoon or selling the magazine?
Both. Don't you just want to take a peek at Judy? Stay just a sec. I want her to understand men, and you're a classic.
She leaves the room.
Hey, I'm sort of dating an actress who says I'm withholding. Do you think I'm withholding?
Well, let's just say I don't know who you're saving it for.
Heidi returns with carriage.
Judy Holland, this is Scoop Rosenbaum.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Scoop.
How you doing? You know, they all look like Winston Churchill. A+ intelligence, B- vocabulary.
Come on, be generous. A+ vocabulary.
Fuck the fucking Wicked Cooks.
Judy, for future reference, Uncle Scoop hates foul language. Bye, Scoop. Thanks for coming to see us.
Hey, Heidi. If I do something crazy like announce I'm running for Congress next week, will you and Peter be there? Gay men and single mothers for Rosenbaum? Grassroots movements? A man for all genders.
So that's why you sold your magazine.
All people deserve to fulfill their potential. Judy, that's what your mother told me in 1968 on that first snowy night in Manchester, New Hampshire. America needs heroes.
Scoop, you are many things, but
What do you think, Judy? A mother for the 90s and a hero for the 90s.
bye.
Hi. Hey, I knew that editor went to Columbia.
Heidi takes Judy out of the stroller and lifts her up.
A heroine for the 21st.
She sits in the rocker and begins to sing softly.
Darling, you sent me Honesty do, honesty do, honesty do.
Lights fade as Heidi rocks. End play.